freak out on me. And I don't know how many of y'all been slapped by an Asian lady, but it is not cool. My mom will still get me with love, though, with love. But it is seventh season. I do want to show some love to the Gotta Believe uh, Gridiron Classic that went down at Dobson. Shout out to AZ Angels over there, Coach Peters' squad. I know Eli Manzanares was absolutely dealing over there. And Jai Jones, Jai got hands. In case y'all not familiar, I think he kicked off the YouTube series since I made the move to YouTube. If y'all not familiar, justchili.tv. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, show your boy some love, notifications on, all that good stuff. I've had Jai Jones on, Kale Snyder. I got another special guest coming on tonight, which I'm super excited about. Cannot believe I was able to land this with all the hype going on in the valley from the south to the north. Actually, it's really just the north and the middle part of Arizona for football and stuff. But yeah, there's some new coaches floating around. Crimson got a new coach, Coach Hare. Kind of old news. New news though. Mesa got a new coach, the one and only Coach Hathcock, and I know that he about to try to build a dynasty out there. So that's going to be a lot of fun to observe and watch. ASU basketball is kind of struggling. Lost Iowa State. They were up at half, holding it down, doing their thing, and then they fell apart. Suns still kind of meh. Look, once they get Jimmy Butler and we can all buy the Jimmy Butler jerseys, I think we're all going to be okay. Like I said, Chinese New Year's upon us, and without further ado, I got a special guest that I'd like to bring on the show. I can't wait. Super excited. The one and only Coach Cheatwood, NAU linebackers coach. Hang out with your boy, bringing him right back. Boom, Coach Cheatwood, you know the deal. Welcome to Chili's Two Piece. How are you doing?
What up, man? I'm doing great. How are you?
Man, I'm doing fantastic, man. You guys really got that thing lit up over there up north. Flagstaff is absolutely going crazy with football right now. Obviously, you guys are on obviously the end of football season and stuff, but this year you guys had that thing cranked all the way up. The dome was rocking. Talk to me a little bit about that. I am most curious. At what point did you kind of realize, like, hey, look, this is going to be a playoff team. We can really get this thing done.
It's probably week 2 at Arizona. We had that first week versus Lincoln University and weren't able to really see a lot of where we would be at in this conference. But once we had Arizona on the ropes in the fourth quarter with a lead, kind of opened some eyes right there.
Hey, look, the first half of the schedule, like it was a little up and down ish, but you guys really got things rolling towards that back half. You guys went on, I believe, like a 5-game run, wins. Won all the games that you had to, and had some healthy margins. What exactly changed?
I don't think anything necessarily changed. I think just first year staff, new guys around new coaches. It took a little bit to start to gel, and then once things started gelling, then we really got things rolling, and the guys were trusting in the systems and the new systems that came in, and really believing in each other and the coaches.
Hey, you're not a stranger to football in the state of Arizona, and this is something that I learned late in the football season. I actually didn't realize. So my coverage career kind of started circa 2010, but I was a FM radio DJ. So like I was just kind of covering the players. I didn't really know all the coaches and stuff like that. You've been out here for a while doing your thing. Talk to me a little bit about your roots out here in the state of Arizona, the Yuma Catholic, and maybe a little bit before and stuff like that.
So I played high school football in Arizona at Parker High School. Really wished NAU would have recruited me when I was coming out, but I definitely wasn't good enough for them back then. But then once I got done playing, I started coaching at Arizona Western in the WSFL, the JUCO in Yuma.
Yeah.
From there, parlayed that into a D coordinator job at Yuma Catholic, then became the head coach for a couple years, and then went to Garden City Community College out in Kansas. And then from there, I went to New Mexico State University, which then brought me back home to Arizona.
Okay. Hey, I am curious since you brought it up. Arizona Western, the WSFL, the JUCOs that were here in Arizona before the MCCs, PCs, stuff like that. How badly does Arizona actually need those back? The state of Arizona. Are you one of those that would highly endorse bringing back those junior college football programs?
Absolutely. It's such a disservice to kids in Arizona when they got rid of junior college football in Arizona. There's not many other options in the state of Arizona if you don't go to ASU, U of A, or NAU. And I like what the Hohokam thing is doing and trying to do,
Yeah.
but I don't feel like, no disrespect to them, I don't feel like it can do what the WSFL did as far as, on campus institutional things like that. But there was some really, really good football being played in the state of Arizona junior college right before they got rid of it.
No, for sure. Hey, getting back to NAU, listen, you guys brought a lot of excitement up to Flagstaff this year. You guys kind of set the bar a little bit higher. I honestly don't remember the last time, kind of covering, paying attention to NAU, that they had that much success, that they really made the playoffs and generated that kind of excitement. Now that you guys have set the bar, how do you guys keep resetting it higher and higher?
Well, the big thing is, retention, with the transfer portal. We gotta keep our own players here, and I feel like we did a really good job of that. The key pieces that we really need to keep here, and then obviously recruiting. We've got some great freshmen coming in, some really good transfer guys coming in, on top of the core that we kept. So continuing to send the message that Coach Wright preaches every day, and keeping the guys, aligned in the right direction is key.
Hey, everybody talks about like culture. That's been like the buzzword in football for like the last, like I want to say, like 4 or 5 years. Super heavy. Could you explain some of the culture that you guys have created up there at NAU in the 1 year that you guys have been there? Actually, it's like
And
like less than 1 year, but you know what I'm saying.
well, we've been here for a year now, so yeah, you can say a year. But
Okay.
I wouldn't even consider culture a buzzword. Culture's something your program needs to be successful and survive. And Coach Wright is a firm believer in that from what he's learned from the great coaches he's been a part of, and it's all about connection, love. If you don't have those two things, you're not going to be very good at as a football team. Your guys got to connect with each other. They got to connect with their coaches and connect with the community. If you don't have connection within your program, you're not going to go very far.
Hey, and you know what? I'm glad that you brought up the word connection, because you are such a unique human. One of my favorite coaches out there in college football, and let me explain why.
Let's go.
It is because of the connection, not just the football, the passion for winning and coaching and doing great things and molding these young men, but it is because me and you are soul brothers. I consider us soul brothers because we have this affinity for sneakers.
Yeah.
Sneakers. Hey, listen, I'm gonna do right by NAU, knowing that you guys are sponsored by Adidas. These are some of my favorite sneakers. These are some limited Ultra Boosts that you had to get a special code to create. You had to be somewhat of a influencer of sorts, and they hooked me up. I don't even know what these are called, but these are some limited edition Ultra Boosts, one of my favorites.
Okay.
And these might be one of my favorite silhouettes of all time that Adidas has come up with. These Turtle Dove Yeezys. I haven't even broken these ones, but I just wanted to make sure that we were clean with this, brand new, and just to show some respect to my guy, because these are one of the first shoes that, like, I saw you wearing these, and I was like, this guy right here is a real one. These 380s right here.
Oh, those are
The,
the game day shoes this year.
hey, oh, were they? I was gonna ask you,
Yeah.
what were you flexing? What was on feet for game day? So
It
this was
was the
it.
it was the 380s. Yeah.
Dude, these are crazy, and these are mad comfortable too. Look, all these Adidas Ultra Boost super comfortable. NAU got the hookup. Talk to me. What are some of your favorite shoes? Game day shoes, pre-game, walkthroughs, whatever. Like, what are some shoes that you like to have on feet?
So obviously the 380s were my game day shoes this year, but those
Okay,
are not my favorite Adidas. But with being at an Adidas school, I'm a Yeezy guy because there's not many other options outside of
I love that.
Yeezys. So the version twos are by far my favorite. They were
Lit.
actually the first shoe that got me into sneakers, and it was an Arizona kid that I had recruited to Garden City, who was my plug. So
Okay,
Christian Furman, who was at Queen Creek High School, played middle linebacker for me at Garden City, and
that's
he
my
was the
guy.
one that got me my first black version twos.
I
So
love him.
those are probably my favorite Adidas shoes. But then you got Um, I love my fours, 11s.
Oh, okay.
11s are probably the most comfortable J's, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Agreed.
so plenty of options out there. But yeah, Adidas, you can't go wrong with Yeezys.
Hey, how many kids on the team? How many kids when you're out there recruiting? Like, I don't need names or whatever. Like, but the volume, like the number. Like, how many of them are like actually like point out like, dang, dude, Coach T would see you with the flex. Like, how often does that happen to you?
When you walk into a school, a high school, and you've got something good on your feet, it's a conversation starter, and it's a way to connect, like you said, which is. But let's be real though, like I'm not the real sneakerhead in my family. I've told you this before. My
I
wife,
know. I love that.
she's a school teacher, and her goal was one year to go every day to school with a different pair of shoes on.
I did that.
And
I did that when I was
and
student teaching.
Oh, she did it too, and she completed the task. So she's got way too many shoes, bro. Way too many.
She's my soul sister officially,
She's the
man. That's
real,
so
she's the real
amazing, man.
sneakerhead in the family. Yeah.
When you're storing your kicks at the crib, are you guys drop front boxes? Are you guys just the traditional shoebox style, like stack them up like back here, or how does
No,
it work for y'all?
she's got a whole system in our closet, and it's really overtaken our bedroom, where it's these little poles with these nets that's got little spots for every shoe, and I get about a quarter of it, and she gets the rest.
I love it, man. Hey, but look, it's not just the shoes. You are somewhat. I mean, you're not a gamer, but you are a video gamer. You do play these football games, some Fortnite. What are you playing? What game system? I know that you game.
It's PS5 in my household. We're not an Xbox family, but my kids like it's a three-game rotation. It's Madden, NC Dub, and 2K. That's really all it is in
Okay.
my house. Um, and there's a strict no easy bucket policy in my household. My wife gets mad at me because I one year I beat the 15-year-old like 75 to nothing. So um,
No, stop.
yeah, well, I was going a little easy on him, and he thought he was getting better and was close to me. So I had to get in the lab and learn the RPOs on Madden, and then go play with Baltimore and just beat the brakes off him. So
That was gonna be my next question. Who do you run with? Are you one of those that picks Lamar Jackson all the time, or hey, listen. So originally, I DJ'd and hosted Madden challenges back to back early in my radio career, to mid 2000s when it came out here, and people like they forced me to let my opponents pick my team, and they run with like different rules. They have different house rules for that, like so it's crazy. But like they wouldn't let me run with like any of the fast quarterbacks or anything like that. So, do you ever run with like, oh, I don't know, like the Chargers?
nah, I'm loyal. I'm gonna play with the Dolphins whenever I can. So
Okay,
I'm a
okay,
Dolphins fan
Peloton.
through and through. So I'm gonna play with my team unless like I had to prove a point to my son. I went and got Lamar and did some things with him.
That's messed up. Hey, what about on the football team? What about the NAU football team? Which one of them guys have gotten you? Have you played any of them? Have any of those boys gotten you, or have you gotten any of them?
Um, You know what? We had when NC Dub came out, we had a tournament at my house, but the cool thing was my 10-year-old was playing one of my linebackers, Ramir Davis from Mater Dei, California, and
Okay.
he was up on him like 21-0, and the guys were just giving him grief. So the cool thing is when the guys come to the house, who's gonna play Duke is the question. So I don't even get on the sticks when the guys come over. They play my son.
Oh man, your son over here scraping your linebacking room. Hey,
Oh
listen,
yeah.
you're out here in the valley. You're out here in the valley recruiting. Let's get to some of this important stuff. I'm curious. How can a kid really get Coach Cheatwood's attention? Is there anything that they can do besides the obvious, the measurables and things like that? What can kids do that really grab your attention? Whether it's social media, grades, things like that. What can they do?
Well, I'm gonna be straight honest with you, Chili. Like, I don't got a big following on Twitter, but my DMs are always loaded, and there's no way I'm gonna be able to get through all of them and respond to them. The number one way is DM recruiting assistants, DM GAs, because their inbox isn't going to be flooded with 500 messages a day, right? Um,
Got it.
and then get to camp. Like we've got three amazing camps that I'll give you dates here before we get off the live here. But I
For
got
sure.
68% of our signees last year was at a camp. Get up here, let us evaluate. Everyone's highlight tape is going to look fire when you put it on, but it's a highlight tape. Get up here, let us move you
Facts.
around, coach you, see if you can understand the coaching, see if you can pick up the coaching and work with you. And that's the best way, is really get evaluated live at camp and get offered.
Okay, I love that, man, and it's a great trip up to Flagstaff. Listen, I know a lot of people are like, "Oh my gosh, Flagstaff's far," and it's really not. And the weather is beautiful. Like the
Yeah,
weather is great.
you
Like
come
I
up
think
here, you come up here in June, you're gonna not want to leave.
facts. That is absolutely facts, and it's affordable out there too. So like there's all that. Gotta make sure I plug that and show some love. Coach Roshman doing amazing things up there. When I do advertises, I promise I'm going to put your Twitter out there, make sure that everybody knows where they can follow you, get a hold of you at. And I'm going to make sure that when I catch up with Roshman, I do the same thing for him. Also, got to put those dates. Those dates. I know that you guys are running some sevens on the 28th, competing with my flight club date, and I
Come
believe the 22nd. And
so we
and
got
I want to.
the 14th is a 7 and big man team camp, followed by the
Okay.
next day, the 15th is going to be our first indie camp. And then the
Okay.
2021, June 20th and 21st is going to be our mega, um, which will be followed by the 22nd, another sevens team camp. And then we'll
I'll probably
have,
be out there for that.
perfect. And then we'll have an indie camp 27th, and then our last sevens tournament, the 28th.
Yeah, competing with my flight club, it's all good. I was just trying to do a cool little event.
It's on
Anyways,
Roshman. You
listen,
can blame Roshman.
I'm going to. I'm definitely going to yell at him. He really messed this thing up bad for me. But hey, listen, man, Coach Cheatwood. Last thing, recruiting hacks. Besides what you already said about DMing analysts and assistants and things like that, is there any other recruiting hacks that you'd like to see more of? You know, less filler on huddle videos or screen grabbing huddle videos, so you don't have to go through the commercials. Is there anything that you'd like to see more of?
Yes, stop circling yourself after the play is halfway over. I want to see what you did from start to finish. I don't want to see the ball get bounced and then all of a sudden I get to find you. Then I got to rewind the clip, find you from the beginning and see what you did the first half of the play.
I
And
try to
and
tell
don't
people that all the time.
and don't slow it up or speed it up. Keep it regular game type.
Man, hey, listen, I try to tell kids that stuff all the time. Like, make sure that you put your best stuff up front. Also, make sure that you circle yourself, let it be for a second, and then let the play run.
And
So that
then
way the
if
coach can
if
fully
you're a
lock in.
quarterback, if you're a quarterback, don't circle yourself. Come on, bro. I know where the quarterback's at. What are you doing?
Thank you, Coach, dropping that knowledge. Hey, listen, up next I got my guy Gridiron, and you, man, I didn't know how legendary Gridiron was until you and Roshman pointed that out. Could you run that back so that everybody can hear about the legend of Gridiron Arizona? Because I don't think that our young guys really appreciate all that Gridiron has contributed over the years.
Man, I try to seem and stay young, but I'm old, man. And back when I was in high school in 2004, like we would get on his message boards to see who the hot high school team was, see the scores, all that. Like I've known who Gridiron was since 2004. And I didn't meet him until we were at the state championship game this year, the Open Championship. And I'm like,
And
you're the
you were like taken aback. It was like you met Kanye West.
I
I was
was
like, yo,
fanning out, man. I was fanning out.
oh, Gridiron got coaching stands. I love and in the best way possible. Coach Cheat, I really appreciate you hanging out, spending some time. Definitely going to get the word out about all the NAU sevens and the camps, even the one on the 28th. Got to make sure that that thing is full so that you guys can evaluate all these kids. Coach Cheatwood, thank you so much, and I'm gonna catch up with you down the line for sure.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna have the graphic posted on my Twitter by the end of the night. So you guys, that'll be out there if people want to get the link and go sign up for any of the camps. Appreciate you. What's the best West Valley spot to eat, man?
Best West, dude. Everybody. So when we were all out at Cesar Chavez, uh, um, Coach Ward was telling us
Yeah, they're
about
talking about a place
the
that was
play.
closed.
Yeah,
I
what
tried
is
to
that?
go.
Did us? So did I. So did I. Coach Ward did us all bad.
Dirty.
DC over at ASU, Coach Ward did us all bad. Hey, any of y'all that are watching, tag him and tag me and Coach Cheatwood and let Coach Ward know that he did us bad
Yep.
on food rights. I don't know, man. There's so many places that I love. Listen, I gotta show love to my sponsors. So, Burrito Express is one of the best burrito spots on planet Earth. If you're looking for a breakfast
We got
burrito
one of those
while
up
you
here.
are
Yeah,
out
yeah.
here recruiting, coach. So make sure that you go check out Burrito Express. Make sure you go holler at my guy Angel. There's another spot, Mascadores. That's not really West Valley. There's one here in Tempe that's absolutely amazing, Coach G. If you're trying to roll, holler at your boy. Let me know. Otherwise, hey, look, man, if you're up for some Chinese food, come holler at me and pull up. And my folks like got this huge smorgasbord of like Chinese food, dumplings, pork fried rice,
Oh yeah.
lobster, whatever you can handle, Coach Sheet.
All right, man. I'll hit you up
All right, man, I appreciate you. I'm gonna catch up with you down the line. All right.
later, bro.
Dang, Coach Sheet was he? Hey, I try to let everybody know like how legendary Gridiron is, and having him on my show and being a part of my show, like the legendariness that it brings, to the Chili brand and the Chili two piece. And I appreciate you for co-hosting and producing for so long, pretty much since the beginning, man.
Yeah, cool getting to meet
So there's
both,
that.
both Coach Cheatwood and Coach Roshman up there before the state championships.
Yeah, man, they were, like man, in the best way possible, man. Just standing out for my guy Gridiron, and I thought that was so cool. They weren't the only ones. Listen, like after talking to them, like I started going around talking to coaches about Gridiron, and like when I started pointing you out, like coaches were like, "Wait, that's really Gridiron," and they wanted to like go like
Blizzard running things at a keyboard.
They wanted to go like run up and like, yo, hey, chill. You think that you can introduce it? I'm like, yo, dude, go say what's up yourself. Like, it's all good. Like, it was crazy. But man, I just thought that was so cool. And Coach Cheatwood, NAU, I know that those are your guys over there because you are NAU alum.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta ask, like, there were a lot of questions going into football season. We weren't really sure what to expect. Coach Wright coming up from D2. Was this thing going to be successful? How excited were you for them that they experienced so much?
Yeah, that was and made the playoffs. That was a big season over there because they were coming off just a couple right around 500 seasons, but before the new coach got there.
Yeah, no, and like I really believe a lot of us had a lot of concerns. We thought that it was going to take a little while for them to get to this kind of success, just like people thought it was going to take a little while longer for ASU to get the success that they got this year. So I just thought it was so cool. Like they kept that thing close with U of A. That Coach Cheatwood brought that up, and
indicator right off the bat because you kind of looked at those first two games on the schedule, and you figured Lincoln they'd dominate because this was a naughty Division I school. And then you figured U of A, would truck them pretty good, but NAU hung in there against U of A, and it kind of showed them. And remember, this was a U of A team that was just a year removed from being in the Alamo Bowl, so we all expected U of A to be really good. This wasn't the U of A team that was toward the end of the season. This was beginning of the season U of A when I don't know, I don't recall if they were ranked or not right at that time. They might have been, but for them to play tough in there was good.
All right, hey Gridiron, got some business to get to. Inside the number segment, the number one segment, I think, in high school sports, podcasting, all that good stuff, right? Hey, look, this is everybody's favorite part of the show. Everybody's always like, oh my God, inside the numbers spotlight. We got to know what's going on. So this week we're going to be breaking down our last week of January, most likely our last week of breaking down Sevens teams. We are going to break down this Showcase 2027 squad. Showcase 27. This team is led by a pair of quarterbacks, Dominic Barjona from Williamsfield, absolutely fantastic. And Jake Rogers, 2027 kid from Basha, spent his first year over there at Sal Point. Super talented quarterback over there. I've seen him on college sidelines at a couple places, Oregon, ASU. And then they got some dudes over here, John Booker, an absolute dog. Elijah Carruthers from Centennial, Aiden Whitaker from Saguaro, been looking good over there. Xavier Thomas from Pinnacle, another Centennial kid. Devin Taylor's been doing his thing. Amasi Glenn Jr. This is a super talented kid from Williamsfield playing linebacker, an actual linebacker in sevens. Yeah. Max Sprott from Chandler, a wide receiver. Caden Johnson from Millennium, a defensive back. Another defensive back, Ryder Noche, one of the super talented flag football players in the state from Brophy. Nate Olmos, another Centennial kid, an actual linebacker that they use over there. So, look, this is an exciting team. And I know that this team looks small, but they borrow, rent, and they do the whole like EuroLeague soccer thing where they borrow, rent, and get players from other teams. And kids like Trey Smith from Tucson Turf. They've used, I believe, Mikhail Davis from Tucson Turf, Zarek Sidney from Tucson Turf, Christian and Gabriel Diaz from Tucson Turf. So they borrowed some guys from there, and that's how they usually fill out their roster. But this team is super talented, super loaded. I'm going to let my guy Gridiron go inside the numbers on this super talented 2027 Showcase team.
Yeah, this is a Showcase 2027 team, obviously, by the name. They are all class of 27 guys, so they're current sophomores. They went to Las Vegas for a tournament earlier this month here in January 11. They went 3-0 on the Saturday portion of that. Their schedule here for the remainder of the spring, they go to Pylon, LA this weekend, February 1 and 2. And then they have Red Zone in San Diego in March and Pylon Portland in April, kind of on the national schedule. That's what their plans are. We'll take a look at the quarterbacks here. You got Dominic Barjona from Williamsfield, 5'10", 170, has a 4.67 GPA. Had the opportunity to play a lot on varsity as a sophomore. Took just under half the snaps for the Blackhawks last season. Had 932 passing yards, 5 touchdowns. Had a big game against Red Mountain, 231 pass yards and 2 TDs. Has a strong arm, makes the throws under pressure. Then Jake Rogers, the other quarterback on the roster, 6'2", 180, has a 4.15 GPA, a two-sport athlete, also plays basketball. He opted to play JV this year to get more reps, which makes sense rather than just sitting on the bench or on the sideline there on varsity, and learn the playbook rather than transferring and having to sit 5 games. He's a pocket passer because, of course, Brett Basha had Brody Veers. He took 94% of the Bears' snaps this season. Jake did visit ASU in November, and he visited Oregon in October, and he missed his freshman year to injury. So it's good to see him get on the field this year to get some reps. We'll take a look at some of the skill position players and stuff. We got Aiden Whitaker from Saguaro, wide receiver, 6'2", 180, has a 3.83 GPA. He led the SaberCats in receiving, had the most catches, yards, and touchdowns on the team, had 44 receptions for 542 yards, 6 TDs, already has an offer from Kansas, long and athletic, has great instincts. He also played some defense this year, had 12 tackles and an interception, and he's currently playing varsity basketball for the SaberCats as well. One of the guys for Centennial, you got Devin Taylor, defensive back, 5'10", 180. He can play both safety and corner. Last season had 49 tackles and an interception, had 7 tackles against both Hamilton and Saguaro. In one of those games against Hamilton, they put the catapult vest on him there, as they do for several of the guys, and track what their top speed is, how far they run, things like that. And he had the top speed out of any player in that game at 21.89 miles per hour is what they got him at one burst. And he played on an undefeated freshman team in 2023.
Nice.
Got some more guys here.
Got to take that water break. My guy Gridiron, listen, my guy Gridiron does this better than anybody and has been holding us down with the stats, the numbers, and all that good stuff. So, Gridiron, you take your water break. Now continue.
We got Caden Johnson over at Millennium, plays both wide receiver and defensive back, 5'11", 160, was an honorable mention wide receiver for the 5A Desert West region. This past season, 24 catches, 301 yards, and a touchdown. Also had 12 tackles, an interception, and a fumble recovery. Their last game of the season against Cactus had 4 receptions for 77 yards and a touchdown. We got Ryder Noche from Brophy, the defensive back, 5'7", 165, has a 4.22 weighted GPA, fast, shifty, great hands, two-way player. Last season for the Broncos, 32 tackles, 26 of those solo, 2 interceptions, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. Plus, he contributed 64 rush yards and had 283 kickoff return yards and a touchdown. He visited UCLA last November, was a second-team All-6A Central Region kick returner, and then, of course, played sevens with USA football last summer. We got Almasi Glenn from Williams Field, linebacker. How do linebackers fit in with sevens? Because I know that usually you do have the linebackers and the DBs playing. I mean, they're not a normal linebacker position, right?
No, they are, and they're just used for coverage to cover the short areas of the field and stuff like that. Don't forget, like in some of these sevens tournaments, they do allow a blitz. I don't allow that at Flight Club, but a lot of these battle tournaments, red zone elite tournaments, they do allow a blitzer. So these linebackers is something that they're obviously used to doing frequently. So they're used to the whole running in, breaking down just in case, because like sometimes when you have a defensive back out there that's just a pure runner, tries to get in there as fast as he can, it's easier to kind of evade them because they don't really break down. They just try to find the target, run, and if they miss, then it's all bad. It's all bad because now these tournaments have different rules where the quarterback can release and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, so linebackers, I guess they are using them traditional.
It's coverage against short passes, and I guess in the
yeah, mostly.
Almasi Glenn, 6'2", 195, has a wingspan of 80 inches, also has a 4.0 GPA. Last season, 35 tackles and a forced fumble. Athletic, physical build, pure speed. Had 20 tackles in the Blackhawks playoff game at Sal Point. And he's versatile. In addition to outside linebacker, he can also play defensive end. And then finally, we got another Centennial guy, Elijah Carruthers, defensive back, 6'1", 170. Played his freshman year at Saguaro, so he had to sit the first 5 for the Coyotes. In 8 games, he had 40 tackles, 2 interceptions, and he had an impressive over-the-shoulder deep interception against Pinnacle this season.
All right, hey, look, this is a loaded roster. Look, I know the team kind of looks small, but like I said, they do the EuroLeague borrowing stuff where they borrow and rent players, based on situation, find guys that don't have teams to run with.
Team I saw too.
Yes, they do. And actually, I'm glad that you brought that up, Gridiron. Super on the ball as usual. Let me see here. I think we got a yellow pad graphic.
I didn't find that.
Shout out to our guy K Visuals, always providing the graphics and timely. And boom, there we are. Showcase 2028.
I don't have.
And these are guys some guys Gridiron might have numbers for, but he might not have them now because I didn't give him the list. But
these are
Bear, yeah, these are freshmen. Bear Andujar from Chandler. He's a wide receiver, super talented. They got another wide receiver from Chandler who's absolutely phenomenal too. Makai Nelson, an absolute dog. Easton Areola from Chandler. They pretty much took all the Chandler young wide receivers. LeGarrette Blunt, they got him at defensive back. He's a Hamilton kid.
Oh yeah, he just recently
got an offer from Marshall. I think he's going to be a wide receiver, though. This kid can catch the ball and really do some things. Speaking of wide receivers, they got Haj Brown, just transferred to Desert Edge. Desert Edge's newest 2028 dog. Also, they got his brother, Jaheim. That is Heem Brown. They got him as defensive back, but this is also another kid that I think offensively plays wide receiver. Did his same for Centennial. They both transferred to Desert Edge. They're both at Desert Edge now.
From where?
From Centennial. Centennial. Hodge and Jaheim both transferred from Centennial to Desert. They got Grayson Bull, super talented quarterback from Pinnacle. That Pinnacle absolutely loves. His wide receiver, Cameron Candelaria. Isaiah Hick, defensive back from Chandler. This kid, Brandon Lopez, defensive back from Sandra Day, absolute dog. St. Mary's linebacker, Azael Ochoa. They got a quarterback from Brophy, Noah Stewart, and this super talented wide receiver from Desert Mountain, Kai Shen. I believe it's Kai Shen. I'm not sure how the last name is pronounced, but watch the kid pop in this kid's highlights. This kid can do some things. Yeah, these are 2028 guys, and some of them have that varsity experience already.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and Centennial played a few freshmen last season. Yeah.
Yeah, those are the two of them, Haj and Jaheim. Jaheim. That's
Yep.
his team. That kid made some big plays versus
Mhm.
Queen Creek when I was out there, and I believe
Yep.
in the playoffs too. And Hodge Brown was killing all year. Kai was doing his thing. I know the Chandler kids were mostly strictly freshman guys, but I know there were late season pull-ups and stuff like that. So yeah, they got some dudes, and Grayson Bull's going to be in the mix to be the starter over there at Pinnacle. I know that quarterback room has kind of filled up lately due to the high school transfer portal and things like that. But this is a good looking team, man. Showcase 2028, and that 2028 roster looks a little bit small, but they do the same EuroLeague borrowing, of players and things like that. They try to find guys that aren't committed to something, and they try to borrow them for a tournament or two with permission. So they're fully doing things right. Gridiron, how is everything going for you? I know the Suns are we getting Butler? What's the deal?
I don't know. I don't like the way he's making this exit out of Miami. It just kind of sours me a little bit. I don't think he's the answer. I mean, I don't think that. Like I said last week, they're not one Jimmy Butler away from a title.
I, man, I don't know. Like, I want to disagree, but I feel like we're getting to a point where you might be right because we're just running out of like games to uh, build some camaraderie and things like that. But
Well, I mean,
man, I would just
they just hit the halfway point. And so they're looking, and we're still, I guess, what the trade deadline is. What, next week? The trade deadline next week. So if you look a little early, and maybe you get them to bite right there. Maybe one side gets a little more desperate the closer you get to it.
yeah, I just think that like the look, we live in a day and age where like these superstars they kind of have to force their way out
Well, seen it
if their
happen here with
organization
sure.
if their organization isn't going to play ball, they have to force their way out. Listen, I wish the
It's
best
also
for Beal, but like
since the last show that we had, when I thought the Milwaukee thing was going to happen with Beal, the Bucks have said that they don't want Beal. So now they got to find
not a
another team
surprise.
that'll take him, because they have to deal him if they're going to get Jimmy Butler, because the only other two guys they could deal would be KD and Book, and they're certainly not dealing them.
Well, they're definitely not dealing Book.
Right?
KD,
No, they're not dealing KD.
KD's kind of, but KD's one of those superstars that's kind of getting to a point like, do you have to keep him? Do you like is he going to retire a son? Is that what you're saying, thinking, and
No.
hoping?
I'm just saying for this year, as far as if you're acquiring Jimmy Butler, you're acquiring Jimmy Butler because you think this team can make a run. You don't acquire him and put him in instead of KD. You wouldn't be accomplishing anything with that. And the Suns have played well this year in games that Beal has missed. If KD and Book are both in the lineup, they're doing really well with us.
That's a terrible look for Beal.
It is.
That's a terrible look. They play well in games he's missed when KD and Book are healthy, and then they've also played well, and he's played well when he comes off the bench. Like, I mean, it's just getting to be one of those things. Like this,
run there when they first moved into the bench.
This soap opera is becoming like so one-sided. Where like, yo, just bring Jimmy, just Brad, just go. It's okay. It's okay.
They got to find someone that wants him. That's the tough part.
We don't want him. Nobody else wants him. Oh my God, this is so sad. This is so sad. Is this becoming as bad as the people like wanting to trade like Kyler Murray to try to change the Cardinals' fortunes and hope that like the Cardinals can get something better and like?
And yeah, I mean, Kyler Murray he's inconsistent. You know, he can put together a couple games where he's lights out and everything, and then he puts together a couple duds in the middle there, and then the big picture when you look at the whole thing. He was a number one pick, and he's been here for 7 years, and he's played in one playoff game, and that did not go well. So,
hey, so I've been out and about, and people have asked me, they're like, "Oh, Chili, you always talk to Gridiron about like the Diamondbacks, and you always talk to him about the Suns. Is he not a Cardinals fan?" And I was like, you know what? I actually don't know. I don't know why we don't really talk about the Cardinals. I think.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I think we don't talk about the Cardinals because we're always talking football. So
right.
like
Usually,
I usually try to go with something
and
else.
we get the high school stuff to talk about in the midst of the show and everything. But yeah, I am a Cardinal fan also. Yeah, since the start of when the team moved here. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, but you're buying it. You're buying it.
I was an NAU student when the Cardinals moved from St. Louis to Phoenix.
You are fully bought in on Gannon though. You do like Gannon.
Yeah, I do
Coach
like Gannon. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you definitely want to see him kept. I know you like Harrison and his high end potential, and I know that
Mm-hmm.
you like McBride a little bit.
I don't like that some
So
people thought that his rookie year was a dud because it wasn't.
His rookie year. People need to calm down.
Yeah.
People need to calm down. Like so you're really only interested in getting rid of Kyler.
I don't know that. I mean, but what do you replace him with? I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it's a quarterback
Somebody
league.
else.
What's that?
Get Kirk Cousins. Get Kirk Cousins so you can swag serve.
Kirk Cousins, and then what happened over there in Atlanta? They ended up replacing him before the season was even over, and then in hindsight, they should have replaced him sooner, and the Falcons would have probably made the playoffs.
Oh man, that's cruel. That's hurt. That's just hurtful. That's just hurtful.
I'd like to see them bring in a veteran to push Kyler next season.
All right. Hey, listen, Gridiron, you do got your write-ups that you do. I'm gonna go ahead and let you give your plug. Make sure that you showcase that stuff. Write-ups. Where do they go? Where can people find them? All of Gridiron's work besides Twitter at Gridiron Arizona.
Yeah, we got over at Arizona Varsity. We have the recruiting page list with all of the offers that players have gotten and the commitments as we close in on the final week here before signing day next week. And then also over at Sports 360 AZ, got an article up there on Chrisman. You got a chance to talk to the new head coach for there, Coach Scott Hare, moving back to the Valley from state of Washington, former Mesa coach, former Mesquite coach, and the Rattlers there in their second year. They improved from 0-10 to 5-5, and they're going to stay. They're going to stay in the 3A for the next 2 years. So it's possible that they could make some noise over there.
No, that's big time, man. I think that's a big hire. Coach Hare, obviously famous for having developed a 5-star quarterback here in the state of Arizona, Ty Thompson, and then also obviously winning back-to-back championships with Mesquite.
30-8 in his 3 years at Mesquite.
Sheesh. I think we are all expecting similar success with Chrisman. Chrisman being a smaller-ish school with a lot of talent.
4A size school. Its other sports are currently playing 4A.
Yeah, well, I mean, they got a growing community out there and a lot of talent out there. So this will be fun to see Coach Hare back in the Valley, putting in that work. Got to hit him up and shoot
part of the Queen Creek district out there with the original Queen Creek and with Eastmark.
Yeah, hey, they got things brewing. They definitely got things brewing. All right,
there was only one high school out there.
Yeah, only one place for people to go, and they all went to Queen Creek, and
Queen Creek still hasn't lost a step despite losing or despite now having to share the territory with 2 other high schools.
Yeah, because Coach Sherman is an absolute dog of a coach, and gets make sure that he always has a Reynolds around to freaking bench press the freaking entire campus. So shout out to Coach Sherman. I saw that he had Dabo Sweeney on campus and stuff.
Yeah.
No big deal.
No big deal. Well, to Tate Reynolds currently committed to the Tigers right now. So they're still playing. We still have till December where that could change, but Dabo making sure that he doesn't lose them. That's what you got.
Look, I've seen a lot of these big dog coaches around. I've seen Lincoln Riley over there at Brophy. I've seen Coach Dillingham hanging out over there at Basha.
It's been a busy January in terms of with the contact period. Where
Coach Savage, USC wide receivers coach, has been around. No big deal. But hey, Gridiron. Hey, look. It is Chinese New Year's Eve, and I really appreciate you always hanging out. Year of the Snake coming up.
Is Chinese New Year, yes.
Day, yes. So Year of the Snake officially loading.
The year of the
Snake.
Officially
loading. Yeah. So the Year of the Dragon move on, and Year of the Snake loading. Yeah, hey, so
Yeah.
it could be you're the snake for real. Hey, see, here goes Gridiron talking about the D-backs again. Everybody wonders why is he a Cardinals fan? But hey, Gridiron, I really appreciate you always hanging out, doing your thing. Co-host slash producer of the two piece with the #1 rated segment in high school podcasting. I think inside the number segment. Gridiron, catch up with you next week.
All right.
I think we got something new. We're done breaking down sevens teams.
Yes,
Yeah,
we are. We've gone through sevens all month. Well, we'll put something else out there next week.
can't wait. I'll catch up with you. All right.
All right, we'll see you.
Man, jam-packed show. My guy, Coach Cheatwood, hanging out. Gridiron doing his thing, breaking down another super talented, phenomenal sevens program that is coming up. Showcase really only been around for, I think, this is their second year. So they were Showcase 2027 last year, obviously with 2027 kids, and then they were Showcase 2028. They've added that, so next year probably have a Showcase 2029, which will be a lot of fun to watch and observe and see how this program grows and flourishes. Look, the one thing that me and Gridiron didn't mention, this team took Low Pro, last year's two-time OT7 winner, to the brink in the pylon finals. Low Pro quarterback by Micah Eugenio, I believe, from Bishop Gorman, and these 2027 dogs absolutely handled the business. So yeah, so there's that. Other than that, your boy Chili, I'm gonna make my way out of here. I gotta get to dinner, otherwise my mom's gonna yell at me or something like that. So make sure that you guys follow your guy at Just Chili, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. Follow my guy Coach Cheatwood. I'm gonna plug this whole thing and make sure that I show him love. Make sure that you get to one of those camps if you can. Also, make sure you guys follow my guy Gridiron Arizona at Gridiron Arizona. The official numbers guy for Flight Club. Flight Club coming soon, by the way. Other than that, justchili.tv, TikTok, YouTube, you know the deal. Make sure that you guys follow, subscribe, show some love. And I'm gonna do the same. Support your guy that supports your guys. So without shoot, I gotta go. So Forks Up Forever. Y'all know.